Welcome back to another episode and a new season of Chat with Yes Men.
We're back.
Season 2, episode 1.
Yes.
We didn't even know we were going to do seasons until we just decided to stop doing episodes earlier in the year. And like, let's make seasons.
Let's call it a season.
Yeah,
Yes.
shit. Other seasons
right.
of podcasts. There are now.
We are now.
This is the thing. Yeah. So,
We are now.
yes,
Artistic
and
break. is
that's
what we
right.
took.
Right, exactly. We brought Anna back because we love talking.
Brought Anna back.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you
for coming by.
having me.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Kept
Welcome
some
back.
of our sponsors, the majority of our sponsors.
What are our sponsors again there, Simon?
Thank you to TEEMA. Thank you
right.
to Platform.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Spandex Panda. Thank you to Pink
Weasel
Coffee Company.
Yes.
Because we have a Yes Men blend,
Which I drained a pot of this morning.
which is, and it's sold out as well.
Really?
At some of the race events that we went to, yeah, it's sold out. It's like, get in there.
There you go.
It's like, we are commercially viable.
Right? We're a thing. Or it's just we had the best looking
But
logo
genuinely,
on the
since the
coffee.
break, people have been asking, so like, hey, when are you guys back on? So,
Yeah.
so welcome everybody. Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome out.
I feel like I've grown.
decidedly better dressed than we are.
Yeah.
Well,
You look sharper than last time.
yeah, I was kind of dumpy last time, right?
Oh no, you're
I was
just
all
wearing,
toopy in a Guinness
wearing a
shirt.
t-shirt. Oh yeah, and a toque. That's right.
Shirt.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah, well,
Cleaned
thank
up. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not bad, right? I hate to brag. I didn't know. No. I decided to sit on my patio because I get to work from home, so I sat on my patio most of the summer
Yes,
with a laptop and
lots
just
of
let it.
sun.
See, like nice
Yeah,
and
you
tan.
can. Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
tan faster than I did.
Hmm.
That's for sure. I don't even think if I've got a tan, but anyway.
Little redness. But there's still some color.
Something happened. So, but yes. So we brought. So Anna is back with us to
Yes.
talk relationships again, and friendships, getting together, just finding your human,
Yeah.
feeling your feels.
Tell us about Hitch.
Tell us
everything,
about
so
Hitch. Definitely
everything that's
get an
happening.
update there. Yeah.
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 So we can bring that back to the podcast because I've seen there's been lots happening with. You've been busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been
congratulations. It's good.
Thank you.
It's good
Thank
to watch.
you. Yeah, it's
It is.
I feel like it's evolving. I feel like I'm leveling up all the time. I feel like just interesting people and I'm kind of allowing the process to take place. I'm trying to trust the process. That kind of mentality.
Just letting it go.
Yeah,
Not
just
letting
like
it go,
because the
letting it
people that I've just like I meet, it's just like something opens, or like I try something, I experiment with something, and then it's like I don't know if that's even what I want, or if that's like well maybe it's something else, and then I'll just go. So I'm always putting myself in these situations or experiences, and just seeing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is now easier to do than before. Control freak.
It takes.
At one point now I'm like I don't give a shit.
I think Jason's had his again personal journey with the mics and getting back on the microphone, back on the music.
Yeah.
I've had my continued journey with mountain bikes, and it has been similar because if I wind the clock back 2 years ago, there was a lot of lack of confidence and lack of all of this because I was doing something new. Yes, I'd ridden a bike all of my life.
Yeah.
However, now I was throwing myself off the top of a mountain and all of this kind of stuff, and relearning stuff that So it's been similar. So good learnings, and again meeting new people.
Totally.
Fabulous folks.
And a trip to the UK as well.
Trip to the UK. Back to Mud Island, yes.
Right. Yes.
That's awesome.
On my Canadian passport.
Right.
I've got stamped. I've got it stamped twice.
Oh, fantastic.
So
That's mine. I went to the
was-
Philippines when I was 13. That was it. Oh, I went to Mexico. That would have gone stamped. Would that have gone stamped? No.
I don't know.
would assume
I
it
got stamped when I went to Spain,
Okay.
and then we came back to Calgary via Iceland,
Okay.
and they stamped us in
nice.
and out going out of Iceland.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my Joe, my wife got all excited because you're like, oh, we're gonna get stamped.
That's cute.
Which is kind of it's cool, but yeah, it's
Traveling to the UK with and purposely not using a UK passport in the past would have made your life very difficult. Like I have memories of queuing. That's the word, not lining up. Queuing for a hell of a long time as the non UK citizens had to line up and wait.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was slow when I flew out last year because they were confused. It was the first time that I'd gone back to Europe on my Canadian passport.
Okay.
I'd done the States, but yeah, it's kind of, so again, I was the guy that was front of the automated queue, you know, where you kind of stand there and scan your passport, take a picture of your face. And I'm
That's
like, no,
done.
this isn't working, until somebody came and like, you need to go over there. So I go over to the border control, and they're like, okay, where do you live? And I'm like, I live in Calgary in Canada. Okay, well, have you always lived there? And I'm like, well, for the last decade I have.
Yeah.
They're like, well, where do you live now? And it's that type of that continual questioning until trying to trip you up, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they could clearly see, it's like, well, hold on a second, this dude's got a few passports.
Oh, interesting.
Because we've kept the dual citizenship, so two passports.
Right.
So yeah, to Jason's point, it'd be kind of like, well, hold on a minute, you were born in Britain, but you've come back on your Canadian. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, well,
I always get flagged with my name. I always get flagged. I never used to before. The last time we almost missed our flight because they had to do like an interview, to do like fingerprints.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm like, that's interesting. Which is good. I mean, you know, they're being proactive.
Kind of what we're going to get ourselves into is like, well, why would you?
Yeah.
You kind of hope that the world got past
Right.
that.
Oh, well, yeah, totally. But the world is also showing us not that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right?
Yes, which is again, I think, is where we come back to one of these questions that we've got here with our thing, is like, why is the meaningful relationships harder to find today? Because there's a lot of stuff in there
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that gets in the way. It's like, can we just be chill?
Yeah. But that's what, so I'm, and it's funny because, you know, I'm like, I kind of go with these questions. I'm like, Mom, yeah, sure, I'll swing it. Or, you know, like, but that's the problem. So you know, so for me, when I'm going up to meet people, I have such an energy, right? And so I'm like actually feeling these things, these people, and I'm so observant, and I notice even the last little bit, I've been even more observant with my, just because it's like, you know, you get more particular, and then you get more particular.
Yep.
As you grow older.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yep. Your bullshit filter falls off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just does.
But I'm like, own it. This is the thing. I'm just like, yes. But I'm nice. I'm nice about it. But with when I'm meeting these people, it's just like, it's honestly, it's just like a magnet. Like I'm just kind of like just drawn to the and then I'm getting good people.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of. That's loud.
I did.
Yeah. Should we stop for a sec? Or,
Yeah.
Okay. There's been an event at Platform, everybody, and
Yeah.
people are being released.
This is what makes it fun. It's like, this isn't a proper studio. No, it's not.
It's not a proper
Yeah.
studio. It's real life.
It's a
ladies and
boardroom.
gentlemen.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's what it'd be.
That's right.
Because it's not soundproof.
Yeah.
It's soundproof to a level.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't have that ability though. A lot of people have like these like they're constantly like just attracted to the same human, whether it's like friendship or romantic or business or whatever. Like I notice some of these people, it's like when I'm talking to them, their problems are like, you know, it's like repetitive. And maybe I'm going off track, but when I'm in situations and like in life, if I'm noticing a repeat pattern, whether it be like the same type of human that I'm attracting, the same type of guy that I'm like drawn to and like putting on this pedestal, I take myself out of it and just kind of reassess.
Yeah.
And I'm in something at this moment, and it's just like, it's very, very fresh, but it's just it's an exploration, but it has come about. And, there's just little things that I'm trying to like, I am observing, but I'm also being very like, I'm communicating the things. So I'm practicing all that I'm preaching, but then also like having like weak moments and like dropping shit off of the house, not telling them. It's like just being like, here's your beautiful little package that I washed the things, and here I put it safely here, but I am like mad. That's my way of showing you.
Love it.
Quietly mad. But no, the thing that I enjoyed the most, bringing it back from the relationship side. So when we went back to the our hometown,
Yeah.
it's the and friends that I've known since almost single digits, right? Ridden bikes together, all this kind of stuff. But it's the pickup of like I've never been got.
Oh my
Like
God.
it's a hug. Hey, how you doing?
That's
and
what
then,
I've been
And then it's one
experiencing.
word. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, beer, yes.
Yeah.
And we walk straight back.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're saying, okay, well we'll dust your chair down like you used to sit there, like in that corner with your beer. And
No,
it's
you
like,
fancy.
it's like, because now you're back. And same with my sister, you know, it's like not even when we saw her, probably not even an hour, and then again one word.
Yeah.
Pub, walk
Yeah.
around the corner.
That's why I say it with my friend Miriam. We went to elementary school together, best friends.
Yep.
And then lost touch for 25 plus years, and last year just got reunited. And
Like
it's
you-
like
like,
I'm
no,
"Holy
those
shit,
25
man, we're
years
the
didn't happen."
same.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's all we're just like the same human. We're both like, you know, like we're both kind of like whatever. We're also very like but then when I connect with her, then I'm connecting with ABC. You know, like I am just like there's so many other people, and then I get entered into that, and because we're the same vibe, then I'm my friend, like I'm friends with them naturally, right? And vice versa, right? Yeah. So it's like I've been reconnecting with the people from school a lot, and I just went to play pool with this one of my best friends from high school last night.
Saw that, yes.
Yeah, and it was just like. But it's just like at home. It's like crazy.
Yes.
But then she's telling me that she's like, you know, you've done like wonders. Like she was, you know, she was more like angry and tough and, you know, a little heavier when we were growing up, and then we reconnected after another 20 whatever years. And in the last like maybe 2 years that we've been chatting, she's like, you've done so much. Like, you know, just even like allowing her to allow herself to be feminine and like soft, because she's always like, she'd walk in a room and she's like, what, you know, like that kind of thing. And but I'm like, hey man, just chill out, it's friendly. It's cool.
Do you think that's are we talking about societal norms then that's coming into the dating game? Is that what we're alluding to here?
I guess
Because we were talking about this earlier on, weren't we? There seems to be a lot of uptightness.
Yeah, like there people to get people to do things, or like even
Yes.
come to some of my events. I'm on the phone with some of these, like especially new people, and like they're like, "Well, can we just?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can get on the phone and just kind of chat." And at least at that point, they know me. They know me, right? So they come in, they're a little bit more comfortable. But even then, like people are so nervous to come to these things or experience just something different. So
Well, yeah.
Go on.
I was just thinking along the lines of, to talk back to our previous episode, really it's an antidote or an opposite of the apps, right? So people
Right.
are used to the anonymity of you get to present your best picture
yeah.
or two,
Yeah.
right?
You
And that's
actually-
it. But
yeah.
to actually have to talk, like,
and be there, and what do you do? What do I do when I get there? What like so even my last one, and I think I'm going to do it some of them this way, just you know, just because it was successful. So I had the women come at like 6:00, and we were at a shisha bar. So I like to smoke shisha, right, and just like chill out. It's like good music. The place at Six Lounge is beautiful. But you just like chill out. And so 6:00 the women came, we all just like hung out. I was actually able to like get to know some of them. It was relaxed. There's no guys, right? And then at 7:30, the men started like coming in, right? And just kind of like just being sprinkled in.
In those scenarios, what do you notice changes in the room then? What dynamic changes?
yeah,
why not?
that's an interesting question.
Yeah,
Like,
what dynamic changes?
How do the women change it when the
Yes.
guys start coming
Yeah,
in?
I know, because
Or
I
why not
noticed
have everybody
something.
turn up at the same time?
Yeah.
Because so what I liked about it is that like the women, because it's a lot of the time it's the women. A lot of like I'm finding, because my primary audience is men.
Yes.
I like it. I'm comfortable with them. Like I like to hang out with guys. Sometimes more than girls. Some, you know, like, but I do love my one-on-ones especially with like my select few, like my very small circle. But I know how my the dynamic for me
Yes.
changes. And I noticed that because I was kind of like, like the girls were here and whatever, they're more serious, whatever. But then the guys came in, and it's like a lighter energy. Right. And I noticed that too. I was like kind of excited for them to come. But I'm also like, yeah. So then when they, and I love like when they look good, I love, like, I praise them for that.
Yes.
Oh, and people are starting to notice like how it is important. Right. So anyway, so they come in. I think the women are just a little bit more relaxed because they had some time. They're not just like coming in cold.
Okay.
And then there was some women that were just like, they came in at, the time when the after party started because they just didn't want to be early. Right.
Yeah.
But it was more, I felt like it was more effective as far as just easing the people in. And for the guys too. It wasn't like they were just like strolling in every now and then I'd greet them and then they'd
So
come
just
in
a
and just
chill
grab
way.
a drink. Yeah.
Just chill.
But the women, like it's there's definitely something there, and I can't even articulate it, but there's a change that happens when men are around. And there's just a more like excitability or and then just, but having them come first, I thought that was beautiful. Just how I was witnessing it.
Yes.
Was good.
Interesting,
Yeah.
It's a because I've researched for this podcast is I've re-looked at the Jimmy Carr interview with Diary of a CEO. In fact, he's done a lot of podcasts. Jimmy Carr has, so he's a comedian.
Okay.
But they also, but it's interesting to see his serious side, especially in terms of how hard he works and the research that he puts into things and all this kind of stuff. So they were talking about relationships, and he said we've definitely got almost like a life like people have got life dysmorphia now. And then i.e. everybody thinks their life is bad.
Okay. That's
but not, but in reality it's not. And he backs it up by saying, like, just remember that next time you're in the shower, just remember that showers were not a thing, like, until we've only had showers as a thing like for the last 50 years.
okay.
So I was like, holy smokes. And hence the reason why, bath time was in the kitchen sink.
Oh, I didn't.
So
Never even
I'm
thought
like,
about
oh my God. But people will, but look how we've put that into our lives as a.
And I'm old enough to have even stories that talk around that as well.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, when I lived in England for 3 years, I was in the Victorian house.
Yep.
The hot water tank was approximately the size of your drink thing there.
Yep.
Right. So you'd fill up the sink
Yes.
beside the bathtub,
Yes.
and you would
Oh,
water,
yeah.
wash,
Yeah.
pour water off.
Especially if you're doing renos like my mum and dad did. It's like, well, I'm going to get clean, okay?
Yeah, this was
Kitchen sink.
this was the 1980s, just to put things in perspective.
Really?
70s,
Yeah.
80s, yeah.
It's an old
Sat on the draining board, flipping fairy
An old-
liquid.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Get a fairy liquid bath.
yeah.
You guys are old.
The hot water tank had enough water to fill up the sink.
But that's
yeah.
the point in what he says. It's like, because then you put, like, you think you're hard done to, but then if you think of, well, hold on a minute, we've only had showers, like, for the last 50 years, and
We have seedless watermelons now. Mm-hmm. Right.
that's
sorry.
another point
Okay.
that he made. No, I
So,
did,
yeah.
but I know
My
what you
goodness,
mean.
that was
It's-
a real hazard
and
when I was young.
And we've even come up with something like we can buy a peeled orange in a freaking plastic container. It's like, how entitled has the
Yeah.
human race got? For
Right.
Can we be serious for a minute? And that's where he takes it. But my curiosity is that you can see that's seeped into. It's just seeped
Everything.
into relationships, because now we've got we're putting set standards
Right.
on ourselves that probably aren't relative. And I'm going back to what you said, like that my Yahoo moment was when you told us about the web stuff, that the top percent of females are looking for this height, this
right.
salary,
Yeah.
this career level, this
Yeah.
big. I'm like,
Shut up. What? I can't. When I see those videos, like that song that was made.
I'm like, what?
Oh God.
Nice. But
But
yeah,
that's
you're right.
what it's like the thing for women.
And it's spilling in for everyone as well. This idea of sort of the entitlement, which the apps feed into as well. Again, apps aren't a bad thing. I mean, I've met people. Depends on how
Apps
you
have
are,
worked well for you.
but you could find somebody who hits 98% of the things, but then you have this idea. But if I wait a little bit longer,
Yeah, like the
then
shiny
I can find
object
that 99,
Yes.
right? So
I'm
it kind
gonna
of
get
Yeah.
it creates this
That's the and you see that with people who are using the apps. That's why for me I stopped because I'm like, okay, and I went on maybe 3-4 months ago.
Did you?
I'm just gonna see. I'm like lonely, I was like,
what was that? So what was like that? What was it like then when you went back onto them?
it was just like, so I know, so it was of course like for women, and I want to actually do an experiment and just see what it's like for a man, because for
Was
a
this
woman
after
it's
you'd
like,
been in the gym for a little bit as well, bench
oh,
pressing a house.
I've been I've always gone to the gym.
So you look at social
but now
media
I'm
there,
just
don't
like,
you? Bench press a house.
and then I'll go for shisha. What was I saying? What were we talking about?
The app.
Oh, the app. Yeah.
You went on the app,
Oh,
yeah.
right. When I went on the app. Okay.
Yes.
So then, so yeah, I want to see what a man's experience. But for women, it's like you get matched. Like there's like it's match, match, like a whole bunch of likes. There's so many options. But then a lot of them, so like I'm going to say like 50-60% of them, it just kind of no one reaches out to anybody.
No.
And for me, I'm trying
guys
to be
play
like,
the numbers game. Right, swiping right constantly. That's why it's a numbers game.
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's
So there's an algorithm to this flipping swap.
oh, and they've like gamified. They've gamified like these creators of these apps. That's why I'm like, oh, there's actually something. There is actually something that's tied to like addictions.
oh my goodness, yeah, the dopamine hit to the dopamine.
Oh yeah.
The
do put
dopamine
the
withdrawal.
neurology
Oh, I
in
need
it.
more.
Oh
it's
yeah,
letting me go back
totally.
on to
You go
swipe
on a
more.
date. If you're going on a date and then you're going like, if you go on a really great date and then go home at night and lay in bed and just swipe, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's so different from how we were before. So I stopped. Like I noticed, and I made like, a few connections, had a few conversations, but it was like, I just couldn't. And because of what I'm doing, I didn't want to cloudy that. And because I'm like, I'm preaching this stuff, right? And like I would tell my friend, I'm on the app, but then when I'm like looking for people for my business, I'm not necessarily looking for me, because then I would be different. I'd be awkward and anxious and shy and insecure, because that's what happens when I'm in a relationship.
So has that changed Hitch over the last few months then, in terms of what, like, are you seeing an increase of more guys coming to Hitch? Are you seeing an increase of more girls coming to?
So, well, because my audience is primarily men, those are the ones that are a little tougher to get in, but then they're more responsive. So some of the women, but I'm meeting women organically. Like that's a little bit more organic thing that's happening. And when I notice, like, so if I'm trying to fill a room for an event, and there's like, the guy, there's like 48%, or there's like 24 guys, and then there's like, at that point there's like 16 girls, or women. I start to go to events and be like mindful of that kind of stuff.
Yes, trying to balance the room and stuff.
Yeah.
I've heard. I'm not sure if your take on this. It feels like. Is the app experience getting worse?
I think so.
Yeah, because I've been talking to girls I know that have, and these are women who would never have a problem finding a guy, but like it's almost like they're bottom feeders. They're picking up tin cans and dirty shoes at the bottom of the riverbed kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And I've heard a lot of I'm just giving up.
Oh, so much.
So,
People,
yeah.
I'm feeling that. Like, I'm feeling like that defeat where it's like, okay, this is another one. Like, I'm starting to just be out and just meet people that way. I'm no longer on the apps. I've used them enough, and not just because I've started this business, but I've used them enough to see that they're not, it's not for me anyway. And it's not for a lot of people, especially if people are on them a lot. They're used to that even more so than like someone who's not.
Yeah.
Right?
It's that social
like
media addiction.
Practice being out of it.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is relative, but my our daughter her phone has melted down, so she's not on dating apps, all that kind of stuff. But she is on the usual apps to speak to
Snapchat,
friends,
all that
all
stuff.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But her phone is pretty much like fired itself out. So it's an old phone. It was like she took a hand me down from either myself or my wife Jo, and over the last couple of months it's just kind of flamed out. It just doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Good.
But yes, so but in the last week or so, she basically said, "Do you know what? It's actually." I know it's the realization that what Jo and I have been saying to her about addictive apps and the neuropsychology that's put into these apps, which a lot of folks don't realize.
Totally.
Like, it's programmed in, and we know that because we're in IT.
Right.
And I've lived it firsthand.
And he's lived it firsthand and.
Yeah.
So to have a 12-year-old come back to us as mum and dad and basically say, "Do you know what? It's I actually feel better for not being on my phone."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because then she's concentrating on Muay Thai and she's like doing her crafting and stuff like this, and like,
and you can see into like a little. You almost feel like this vortex, you know, when you're like really like in it. Yesterday, I allowed myself to be like sad all day, because I hadn't cried and I was
feeling
going through something. I was in my feels, just bathing in it.
Love it.
And I was just like, you know, like on the couch, and my girlfriends would call me. This is the thing with the whole relationship thing too, is people just need to like go try things just to meet people in general. Just to meet like new, like just people, cool people, anybody, anything, if it's networking or a friendship or something. That's why I've kind of turned it away from just primarily being like singles focused, because it's just, people just need to meet people.
Networking.
But like good people. Yeah. Just a social.
I've seen a YouTube clip, and it's an ex pro cyclist that's on a personal journey as well. So clean eating, alcohol. He talks a bit about his vices, which he was a smoker as well. So very, very similar, because I can remember doing the same thing, because you live and you grow up in such a strict like water and salad world that as soon as you decide to give up, it's like, okay, I'm going to smoke now because I can, and nobody's there to judge me. So, I don't care if you judge me. I'm just having a cigarette. Yeah. And I'm just going to pour beer down my neck or whatever else I can get my hands on, and that's kind of. But it was interesting. So he was looking at that, and his reduction in his journey from the smoking to the nicotine patches to the alcohol, and he's reduced it down to drinking 1 or 2 times a week. Okay. But then he put he was how society views people's relationship with alcohol and the traditional pub, or bars as we call them over here. And it was interesting to see that he drew the conclusion of the alcohol is there and it does affect you. Like, there's science now to say you have a couple of beers or a couple of vodka tonics, all of this kind of stuff, and you go to bed, then you're not going to have a good night's sleep at all. You'll have elevated, you'll have restless sleep, you won't get your REM, all of this kind of stuff. However, when he looked at it from a social aspect, that's where, like, going out, having a few beers with friends, at a bar, at a pub, that's where he saw the value, because it's bringing people together in the same way that we do in Calgary here. We've got a great coffee culture. You know that. Yeah. Should we grab a coffee?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Is that not a thing other places?
It brings people. My point
More
I'm trying to make
in
is
the UK, I suppose.
it's you can I love. Well, my sister would just be like, "There, drink that." I was like, "What's?" It's like it's got gin in it. I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
But who's happier?
But the thing is, well, exactly right, because there's community. The point is, community gets built around the pub, and if you look at potentially a bit of social study going on here, where we've got struggle, relationship struggle, friendship struggle, is it's finding that area to come together. So you can come together because you go to the gym and you go to your fight club, as I call it. I keep saying that to my daughter. It's like fight club night.
First rule of Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know where my brain went. Please continue.
Thank you. Thank you, dear heart.
Yeah.
I'm
here for
But my
comedic
point is,
relief.
it brings people together. I'm like, we're into the mountain bike culture.
Yeah.
You with your music, like it's
Yeah.
bringing people together. You've got commonality there. You've got common.
That's my
goal.
village. My village is the music stuff. That's why I do this.
Yeah.
It's
There you go.
Yeah.
But
It's-
then it drives values, and then you can come together on personal values.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like? Oh, I like this. Well, I don't like it. I actually love it. And then, but it brings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
Whereas
that's-
an app can't
yeah.
do that.
No.
No.
And I think that a lot of people are starting to see that. I think there's more like awareness of it, which is good. But like now we just
It
have
drives
to kind of
that-
practice.
Yeah, and I think it drives that feeling of loneliness. You tend to be on the app because you're feeling lonely, but the app just exacerbates the loneliness.
Oh,
So,
totally.
Yeah.
And you're just feeding that.
And
Yes.
to talk to the addiction
loneliness.
part,
Yeah.
I've been on these things enough. Again, I have not been on one since my last long-term relationship on purpose for many reasons. Won't go into that, but I have before met somebody on the app, and my MO tends to be long-term relationships. So I will meet somebody, and it's like, okay, we've been on a few dates and we're hanging out a lot. Like, I am now going to get off the apps, and it's like a big
Right.
deal. And we all get off the apps, and then you have like seriously like 2 or 3 weeks where you're just used to picking up your phone. Right, I don't have the app anymore. And it's like a
yeah.
withdrawal. It's like
Oh,
it's just,
totally.
it's silly.
But if you're
yeah.
not doing so, because me not practicing,
Yeah.
my dating habits have changed so much in the last year. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So what's changed then? What did you change?
I'm before I used to really be I used to be more like insecure. I used to be scared to say, like anything that was bothering me or just bring it up because in my
Self-advocacy,
last
right, yeah.
oh yeah, I'd be like because it would always be, in my marriage, it would always be like I'd get punished for whatever I said or just get, like it would. So I now, like, the years of that, you kind of are afraid. You don't feel safe to even just be like, hey, you know what I really like phone calls. I love that. Like even just things like that. I'd be like, I don't know. Is that, and I'd start to, and so this is actually what I'm in right now. But it has changed a lot because now I'm kind of like, I've found like my worth. It was even just since like when I went to Montreal, because I went to Montreal and then I met you guys, right? Just after that.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah. And so I'm just a lot more like, I'm more confident. I'm more like, no, I know who I am. I know I get a lot of attention, but there's not a lot of guys that come in that I'm actually like really intrigued by. But then someone does, and then I'm interested, and I'm such a lover. But then I don't know. And so then that's where this is the part where I'm kind of like, I'm confused because I'm like, I feel confident when I'm telling people things, when I'm giving advice, all those things. And for the most part, I am kind of following those things. But then I get into something and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm insecure and I'm scared and I want to talk. And then I'm like overthinking and I'm like, does he like me? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe. And then when I don't hear from him, it's like I go down this spiral too, right? Where I'm just like, is he going to message me ever again? Like, am I going to talk to him? Is he done with it? Like, did something happen? But that's the stuff that's like goes through my mind. And I'm like, and because I had practice in the last little bit, I would think that I wasn't going to go
I know.
through
Yeah,
that.
I know what you're feeling. Yeah, I yeah, not to bring it to me, but I get that. I get that feeling as well. Like I remember definitely feeling like that a lot in my earlier dating days, I suppose. I almost feel like when I hit 40 myself, just something clicked, and I was just like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now
I'm fine.
And yeah, right. And right now, yeah.
Yeah.
And now,
But you have to be like, no, I'm good. I'm like, I've got like
Yeah.
my family, my friends,
Yeah.
all the things. And then just and this is the thing too, is I forget, because one of my friend Miriam, she's been like my rock. But she's like, no, you have to like sit back and remember you are a boss bitch. And I'm like, oh yeah. And she's like, and you're beautiful and you're this. And she's like, she's such a cheerleader. And it's so, like, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I seem to lose track of that and my worth and all that kind of stuff. But it's so easy to go down that.
Oh my goodness.
So
yeah.
are we back to a relationship? Are we back to folks having more of an issue with relationship with self than
Yes.
folks are Is that the stem of it all?
That's the thing. So when I, because I'm doing this matchmaking thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, Anna, she's a matchmaker," and we're still trying to like,
Yep.
really get a clear cut, whatever of what I am and what I do, because it's many things, right? I think Hitch is more of like an umbrella of the things. But what I'm primarily offering is like the coaching, and what that's about, because it's not about, and I get it, some people are busy, and when I've had matchmaking clients who are just busy, they're just like high level dudes, and they're just like, don't have time to go on 1,000 dates, right? Or get catfished or whatever. They just want someone. And so they're actually pretty good. They're actually great. Like some of the guys that I've had, they're just like stand-up guys. And so because the problem is, it's not just finding someone for someone and just getting to know this person and just like connecting them. It's, for me anyway, and this is what I practice and this is what I'm teaching, is that at the beginning of all this, I was so small. And then when I was that small person, I would track that. And just because that's what the belief of myself and whatever. So then I started I was allowed to like kind of go out and talk to people and go to events and go to this and go to that and try this thing, go to a co-ed gym. And so I started doing more things. And then I started getting more like confidence. I had more to talk about, or I had more, to just information that was more interesting because it was happening in my life. Yep. And then like my confidence and all the things. And so it's like, it's the lifestyle thing. So it's like remembering to like look at the sky and like, I go meditate. You guys have seen my videos in the morning. Ridiculous.
It's
it's so, I'm like it's just like beauty. I'm meditating. I'm like,
and you bring up a word before you go into that. The confidence.
There's science behind that as well.
Confidence.
They actually, yes.
It's
confidence.
It matters on both sides.
Confidence in me comes from the. How do I explain this? Because there was a definite stuff that was resonating with what you were just saying. Then is that so? Again, I know we talked about this earlier before we got the cameras rolling, but so my journey. I'm in year 3 probably now of this mountain bike.
Right.
Throw myself into huge events. That hey Simon, do you want to come ride a 24-hour mountain bike race? Yeah, sure.
Good.
And Joe says, where are you going to stay? I was like, I'll sleep in the car.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll do it. Yeah, why not?
But there were certain things that I wanted to, like, I've always been a racer. I've always raced. I love the 24 hours of Le Mans. So as soon as somebody said, hey, do you want to come do a 24-hour race? I'm kind of like, well, I want to do what's known as the happy hour laps, which is sunset, sunrise. Because beautiful. There is, to your point, there is such a beautiful peacefulness to the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like riding a bike at speed and all you can hear is the
tire noise.
Rip of the tires in your own breathing.
Yeah.
Depending if you're me and you're riding uphill, then you're definitely listening to
no
breathing.
tires now. It's
like, oh, come on. So, but it was that. But what I'm saying is that to get to that state, which only happened over summer, was 3 years of, am I good enough? And probably rediscovering myself, rediscovering the confidences. So.
Beautiful.
I wonder. Thank you. And I wonder if folks forget to do that.
Yes.
So that they start to forget about who they are.
Yes.
Like if I look at this guy, like all he's done. I'm like, there's some text. He's got a text. That guy, this guy here. Like I'm sure there's a text from him. I'm like, really? Another open mic? And he's like, yeah. I'm like.
Yeah,
he's feeling his feelings. Like that's him.
It's also my village because it's my surrogate.
Me into your village last.
You came out Saturday.
I gotta come out. I'm gonna come out.
Oh, that's a good one. One day, I'll let you know.
I will.
So
Yes,
but that's my confidence builder. It's also it is my relationship. In absence of having somebody, because I'm not specifically wanting I'm not specifically wanting to find somebody right now, and I'm good with that. But that does not mean the pendulum swing like I'm trying to play the field.
No, but it's
getting,
with the mic and a guitar.
yeah, I get that.
It's your
I
identity.
get,
That's the
yeah,
word.
I get the accolades for singing and playing and doing that. I get to surround myself with my people, and then I go bye home by myself, have the bed to myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
But
I'm living
it's
that.
self. Am I right in saying this? It's self-identification, self-belief, self-confidence.
Oh,
Like
it's
all
massive
all
because
of that
it's not
stuff.
finding the thing. It's attracting it. It's allowing it to
Yes.
come to you, and that's what happens. Like I'll walk down the street, and I'm not saying I'm like high on myself, but I am confident.
Yeah.
I'll walk down the street, and sometimes I'm just like, my face is. But then also it could be the opposite. And all I have to do is just like invite, and then people are like drawn to it. It's incredible.
And it carries. Wow, yeah. You just brought something. If you don't mind me sharing. So I build up my confidence. My way of peacocking
Yeah.
is playing guitar and singing.
Yeah. That would feel pretty amazing.
I can get the room. If half the room's not paying attention, I can get most of them to pay attention. I have enough. Again, sounding egotistical.
No,
enough stage
it's
presence.
good.
Enough stage presence to do that. And you saw it, so there you go. But that confidence then spills over to times when I'm not playing the guitar. So
Beautiful.
because it's like I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just out and about.
Because you gotta like be in that. So I did a sound bath in the summer, like with bowls. And
Oh,
it's in
okay.
this like
I was today years old.
tent.
I
Oh,
had-
for real?
Yeah, not a clue. Never
So
heard that.
sound like the sound that comes
Yeah.
from these bowls, it's like actually and
There's
there's an
certain pitches as
experience.
well,
of it.
isn't there?
Yeah, and it's just like so vibration and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
It's like metal balls that
very
they rub around the
therapeutic.
outside, and it
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like resonates like a bell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did an event around something like that also, which I'll talk about.
I love learning something new.
But this is like you should
I'd go
actually
to one
try it though. This is like
I'd go
it
to
was
one
so nice. Yeah, I'll
Please.
arrange that.
Yep.
So she said because your vibe. So she's like, think of like a time where you were like you're like like your happy place. Like so for me, it's like because your vibration when you think about that, your vibration is high. So I would think about like being by the water in Mexico. That was my thing. I was trying to get the sunset, but then the waves, the wind, the water, all the things, right? So she's like, before you go into like a supermarket, picture that, and your body doesn't know your brain doesn't know anything different. So it's like your vibration automatically will like raise before you go into this place, and then it's like people will either hate you because you can trigger them, and that's not. I find that too. People are just like don't like me.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't give a shit because I know it's that because I got enough people telling me like they love me and they're my and but yeah so people like either hate you, which is not always the case, like not but or they love you.
Yep.
And I noticed that too, is like people are just like, oh hey, like because I'm actually like really curious about people, and I think that warmth kind of is attractive to some people.
I was smiling. I want to explain why I smiled when you
Yeah.
said that, because as soon as you said that, the vision that came into my head was me. There's a part of the Nordic Centre in Canmore that's
Okay,
basically
yeah.
a straight run, and I love it.
Yeah.
And it's like about 60 kilometers an hour dropping, and you can't see where it dips. Like you're just on the trail and then just go whoop.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. So as soon as you said
yeah,
that,
yeah, but that's
it's
like
almost
that-
trying to relax you. It's like something that excites you. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what you put yourself it's just amazing like how many things like that can like it's just a practice,
yes.
right? And so I'm trying to tell people it's just like you got to just like figure out your shit. Be like think you need to feel like $1 million, and that's like one of my girlfriends. And she's like, man, ever since I've been like talking to you again, it's just like I feel, and I see it on her, and I'm reminding her because she's dating, and reminding her of like, for me, it's all about alignment, and this is how I've also changed. When we go back to how I've changed, I look at things and
You're finding Anna days.
oh yeah, but I'm seeing
Well, you
things,
still
and
do.
it's like it needs to align.
Yes.
The guy that is in my life, it needs to align, and that doesn't come often.
Nope.
Even if it's just like I'm like one of the recent things was like I think I want someone that's got a kid. You know what I mean? Because they know they kind of like what my life looks like, and things like that. So it's just like one of those small things, and I'm not rigid to that thing, but it's just like I'm more like, so I'm intentionally not trying not to have like sex, right? Is after the last like serious one, I was just like, no, I can't. My daughter left. And I was like, I can't have my heart broken. And then, on a boat and this stupid day. But for the most part, I am trying to be like very intentional, and I'm like, and that's what's changed. So now I'm like, I know what works and I know what doesn't work. And when someone comes along and it's like, they're like all the things like are in alignment, and it looks good, and it, like it levels up, and it's like I kind of explored like I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but like kind of like a more promiscuous,
Yes,
more popular man,
Yeah.
And that was very short lived, because I was like, oh yeah, this could be great. This like that elevated, that power kind of couple, whatever. But then I'm like, I noticed some of the things, and just like the behaviors.
You're trying to put two positives together, and
yeah, sometimes it can be like like it just like on the, because for me, it's like I talk to a lot of men, and I was dating someone, I was exploring someone, and I was like, hey, this is a thing for me, like, and it won't change. I go to burlesque, shows, for cocktails with my client, or, like things are going to happen like that. And my person has to be so confident, not, and can't be insecure about whatever, because at the end of the day, like, you can put a million guys in front of me, but if I have a guy in my life, it's like, oh, I just can't wait home, like can't wait to go home and cuddle.
It's also, for me, it's always an alarm bell if somebody is that
like controlling or insecure or something.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
There's even if they're like miserable, like if I'm at an event and they're like, just like, I'm like, I couldn't even do that.
Come on,
I want them to be out. I want to not worry about them.
I think
in that scenario, that's not you. That's that individual. Like,
100%.
If you're sitting there and sulking, then I'm sorry, you got
the
problems here are bigger than your problems.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I'm so aware of that. Even this person that I'm exploring now, I'm like, okay, well, these things don't work for me. And we can either talk about it. I didn't get a call. I was supposed to get a call. But we can talk about it later. And, but it's one of those things.
back burner for a second.
Not being dropped.
Yeah. But I'm also
I called Joe. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
What?
I saw that. Yeah.
I called. So I left home early this morning. So, and Joe left to go breakfast with her girlfriends as well.
Right.
And yeah, so this is so I called her about a couple hours ago, just chat, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I just I want a little check-in every now and then. I don't want to be like messaging all day. I don't, but I love a phone call.
Yep.
Every now and then.
So I think we've mentioned this on the podcast before, but like a major sign, if somebody says, you can look at my phone, why would I want to look at your phone?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play any games like
things
that.
Things like that. And with an ex that she had a lot of guy friends over the years, and she was worried about that with me at first. I'm like, why? Like, be friends with your guy friends. It doesn't bother me at all. And you don't have to have me, and I'm not going to keep you on a time limit. Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, I can't stand it the other way.
You want to be.
Yeah,
is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. To make a long story short, I went to meet somebody, and then while I was there, it was at a dance bar, and one of my friends brings a girl along, and we find ourselves just sitting next to each other. So what do you do? Blah blah blah. And this person had an issue with me. Even though I'm not even in a relationship, this person had an issue with me talking to another girl. I'm like, wow, okay.
There's no way.
Where does that come from? Because I was shared earlier
a lot of traumas, like especially like our age. It's like that significant relationship that a lot of people have. Not everybody have, but a lot of those traumas are from for me. It's a lot of that.
Is it? Like
like
past
just
trauma.
Oh my God.
Good point. Yeah.
The fear of me being able to go and say, hey, you know what, I really like a phone call or like a date. Date would be nice, so we're not just hanging out at your house, like things like that. I'm scared to say, because I was scared to say things in my marriage, right? Like it was because it would the outcome of it would be not great. It would always be like a fight, or like that. So that is in you. You experience that for a few years. Those things are in you. But it's a matter of like, okay, no, I don't. For me, it was like, I don't want to be jealous. I don't want to feel that feeling. Mm-hmm. So then I changed myself. I'm like, I don't want to feel that hot feeling. I don't want to feel like the stomach dropping. That your body is like, I don't want to feel those things. So I'm gonna do something like, I'm gonna avoid the trigger, which is like, maybe I won't ask, who we went for lunch with. That's like a start.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, but it's plugging those things in and actually like practicing them. That's
It
what
is.
a lot of people
And
have.
identifying and working against
Totally.
them to better yourself is fantastic.
Oh, it's
yeah.
hard though.
Oh yeah.
Well,
it's
you're
a
so used to
level
it.
of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And I try to practice as much as I can. I say this, but I'm always discovering like, ooh, I don't like how I did that.
Yeah,
I've been
that
doing
was like,
for years.
I
Like,
don't have to do
shit.
that. Yeah.
So I'm always trying to identify, trying to as much as I can.
But that's good though. That's
Yeah.
because if you're not even trying to do that, then what are you
Oh
doing?
yeah, I'm a better Jay than I was last year. I'm way better than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Infinitely better than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's just like an acceptance. Like I'm just like,
Well, it's something
I'm
you never
fine with
you'd never leave that. I guess what we're talking about self-improvement, aren't we?
yeah.
But it's the same for relationships. You don't just like you got to kind of work on it all of the
Always.
time.
And I'm used to being in this serious thing for 16 years and trying to make it work. This is a lot of the things with these apps. People don't do that. They're like, it gets hard and then they're like, find something else. But it's like it's like a series of surface level,
But
But
then on the flip side, I forgot where I heard this as
Well,
well.
again,
There's a
but-
lot of people who have wasted decades because it's like, well, I tried to make it work, and you were both
Totally.
miserable for 40 years. Congratulations! And I can go to the grave and say I kept my word.
Yeah. But
Well,
that's
great.
why I ultimately left.
Yeah.
After
Right?
16
Yes.
years,
Yes.
that's a hard decision.
Right. I've been married twice. I've been divorced twice.
Mm.
I have chosen not to look at it as a negative. Some people can.
No, it's
I look
learning.
at-
A
yeah.
lot of people will.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I kind of if anything, I think somebody came to me and said, you're just you're romantic. You believe it can happen. That's a good trait. I'm like,
It is a good
effing
trait.
right. Yeah. So
Because the opposite of that is being jaded and think that the
No.
world is against
No,
you.
exactly, right.
And I'll go into those moments, but then I'm like, no.
I flipped
You
into
know-
self-deprecating humor every single time. Like, hopefully wife number 3 will be cool. If not number 4 or 5 will.
But even that though,
She-
just that, but that
Yeah.
outlook,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like that's step one.
Yeah.
If it's the opposite, it's just and if you're looking for something, you're gonna get it. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, because the other thing that fascinated me the last time we chatted was when you were talking about the masculine,
Oh, yeah.
the rising masculinity in ladies and versus the men, and men
Yeah.
basically, because what we're talking about here is a lot of work.
And there's
Yeah.
a lot of conflicting messages.
There's a
as
lot
well
of
about
conflicting
it.
Oh,
messages.
totally.
So
What's the I struggle with why there is so much stress around I don't know. It still comes back to why individuals not being chill with themselves. Because I think if an individual has achieved a baseline, this is who I am, this is what I am, I'm Jason with a guitar, I'm Simon with a bike, and I've got values dotted around that. And I'm Anna with my workout and my boxing gloves. And all
what
this
I am?
kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
reduce you down to that. That's all you are.
But either way, that's your
Just let you know.
right.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Posting too many gym pics.
Yeah. Time to redo on social media.
Maybe read a book.
Right? Yeah.
Post that.
There we go. Love it.
I was like, if I was in the same gym as Anna, it's like that's freaking intimidating. It's like, oh, let's do another set.
Well, this one guy, and I'm not going to shame him, but he had little weights and he was like, "Ah!" I'm like,
Don't draw attention by making those noises either.
yeah.
I'm like super quiet at the gym.
So
Just gets like,
great for him for going. I'm not even going to shit on him.
Yeah.
But it was just funny.
yeah.
I don't know. I think the relationship game is a lot easier when when the individuals know who they are individually.
Oh, absolutely. But there's a lot of people. So one of my girlfriends, she's 30 and she's got a lot of beautiful friends. Also like 26, 27, whatever. But some of them haven't even been in like any relationship, and then they've grown into the like real relationship because this is the generation for these apps and all this online stuff. So a lot of these women haven't been in a relationship at all, and they've just been that independent woman and, all those things. So they don't even know what it's like to be in their feminine energy. When I go on a date and the guy's like, I can feel his like masculine energy, I'm like, oh, like as much as I'm like this.
And as a guy, I like exactly what you did there, and they go,
oh, thank you.
Because it speaks to that the dynamics.
Yeah,
right?
but that's
like,
that's what it should look like. And so many women are like, no, I'm not gonna, like, it's like soft, or it's like, and it's just like, no, man. No. Even like some of my girlfriends are like, oh, we'll go with like a bunch of guys, and they're well off. These guys are fine, and it's taken me some to do this also, just to kind of be like, except, someone's gonna pay for something of mine or whatever, like, but now I'm like, no, I do contribute. I contribute, and I'm a good person, and I nurture and all that things, and I do contribute financially. But if a man's gonna be like, no, you're taken care of, like with things like that, I'm like, I respect that. And some of my girlfriends will be like, well, no, how much? I'm like, just let's go. We're good. There's
almost a whole episode of Diary of a CEO where the woman guest, a relationship expert, says like, let the guys pay first.
Yeah, just do it.
Just stop. Like,
just soften
it's what
up.
they want to do.
Yeah,
and it's
let them be a provider.
And then she goes into the whole psychology about how if it doesn't happen, it can almost be a relationship killer.
Totally.
It was. I can't remember how.
Well, I think you said this in the last time we chatted. Is that the net result is the guys just stop trying. Mm-hmm. Because I know that's how it was. Because I thought about that point a lot. Yeah. I'm like, that's 100% what it would happen.
They're like, okay, well, this isn't working.
Yeah,
and then they're just like, if I post something that's talking about like how women are or whatever, the men will be like, they're like, oh, thank you for saying this, and they're like, I've just given up. These women are like.
And guys, if you're going on a date, open the damn door for her.
Yes,
seriously.
It's opening the door. It's like, so what I'm
and
teaching.
say please and thank you.
Right.
Yeah, and be nice to the servers. Don't be like an ass.
I don't know.
Don't be a dick.
I'm a nice guy. I don't know if she didn't want to go on a second date with me. What were you like to the wait staff? Oh, I was a dick. Did you open the door to the car when you took her? No. Like.
But even like another one, I have to say.
But that's for everybody, not just the guys.
Yeah. For sure.
When you're walking on the sidewalk, do you guys know this?
Yeah, I know the one.
Who stands on the outside?
The guy.
Yes, but so many people don't do it. And I'll just kind of like, even if I'm with anybody, I'll just observe. And then from my coach,
I took these notes from all my relationships. I listen to these things.
You have to be like for women to be in their femininity. You have to be masculine and take that control.
It was one of my first long-term relationships, early 20s, and she taught me about. Specifically opening doors and car doors, and it stuck with me ever since.
Oh yeah, it's
and
beautiful.
Every single relationship I've been in,
yes,
all liked it and thanked me for it.
Yes, it's so appreciated because it's so. It's not existing.
Yeah, no. Walking on the outside is a relatively new one. I never actually thought about it until somebody pointed.
I'm teaching my son that.
I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I like that too. But I think I was doing it instinctually. Not all the time, but instinctively I'd do it quite frequently anyway. And then they said, actually it's a good thing. Keep doing that. And then it became like,
yes.
But that comes back from, I love black tie events.
Okay.
So cocktail suit, and then the lady dressed as you are now, like just stunning in a dress, in heels, because the idea of a black is. But again, you walk into these events in a certain way.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yes.
So the old terminology is on your arm, like who's on your arm tonight? Whatever. So that's where that kind of comes from, and I love it. But again, those societal things have gone, because I've been saying to Joe for years now, it's like, oh, should we go to Venice? Because they do have those events still in Venice. Should we go to Venice and go to one of these Venetian balls? Yeah. Because then it is like, and it for me, I want to go obviously because it's something for Joe and I to do. Right. I want to go there. As the other thing is, I could get back into a black do, and it's an opportunity for her to also. Oh yeah, and
when you feel like that, when you walk into a room,
dance lessons.
I'm so bad.
I really need to.
I am.
I heard.
Oh, I should do a dance event. A lot of people
Yeah.
have been asking about that.
I'm
Like a dance event.
I'm okay if like
Dance
I'm
lesson.
dragged.
tried
If I'm
salsa.
dragged to the king's head,
We tried.
I've been told I dance okay. And
If what?
Dance fine. Go to the king's head and there's a band playing. And I get dragged to the dance floor. I'm apparently better than some other people, but I'm not. Yeah, not black tie event dancing. Kind of thing. I'd like to learn.
It's
that.
interesting.
That'd be
It
interesting.
is interesting. So, and I was asked the other week, by someone that I've known for a long time. And he said, "Do you still hold hands when you're out with Joe?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, okay." And it because somebody had challenged him in his relationship. That's and we're talking about like my age demographic.
Yeah.
And he happened to kiss his girlfriend and show affection, and somebody pulled him up on it.
What
What
did
are
they
you doing
do?
that? What are you doing that for? It's like, well,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, well,
Joking.
so he asked me. He was like, well, are you affectionate with Joe? And I'm like, yeah, yes. Like, yes, we hold
Yes,
hands.
but that's
we
the thing.
kiss.
That's like keeping things like, never mind the dating stuff. The hard part is like afterwards. It's like keeping it. It's like the making it into something.
Yes, I think my disappointment in that question was that somebody had gone to this guy and basically said, "Why are you doing that?"
Yeah, gross.
Because I'm kind of like, yeah,
I want that to be like forever.
don't do that.
Yeah.
like let it continue because we need more
Yeah.
hugs. That's why all of a sudden,
for sure.
like look at what happened a couple of years ago when I think it happened on Stephen Ave, didn't it? Like, do you want a hug? Free hugs? You remember we went through that?
Oh
period
yeah,
of
there's
society
some, there's some
I'm just
people
gonna
doing
stand
that
on the
still.
street and
Someone
hug
was
people.
doing
Yeah.
that recent. Oh, at the Pride event.
I got some good hugs back then. I remember that.
Right.
Oh, I love like on my birthday or like even just like even my circle right now. Oh my God, these
There's-
women are like
And I love okay, yeah. I just had a moment.
Yeah.
I had on this weekend. I had somebody who gave me a hug, and they just gave it for slightly longer than it was socially acceptable, and it felt good.
Right,
No,
it's
like seriously,
that-
it's just that because you feel that it's like 3, 2, 1, pull away, and when they're not pulling away, it's like, oh, okay.
yeah. You
I'll just take
like,
that for a couple more
lean
seconds, right?
into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll keep
Yeah.
that going.
I mean, whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm a guy. I don't care about hugs.
No, guys are like the
Whatever.
the guys are the biggest babies. But I love
are.
it when
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah,
it can be that way. Oh,
yes,
Right.
so beautiful.
Right? I have one friend who squeezes all the air out of me.
I think
She
is that the
comes
same?
up. No, somebody
Oh,
else. Yeah, somebody. She comes up and she's like, "Ah, Jay," and like,
Yeah,
so, yeah, that's a fun one too.
I was going to say, where I went with that.
Yeah.
So there's an individual that we've both worked with in the IT.
Oh my
industry.
God, that person could break bones. I know
Yes.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he asked permission first, and there's a
Yeah.
reason why he asked
Yeah.
permission first, right?
Is this okay? Sure. Yes, go. Crunch.
Like it's painful. But there's a lot of love in his hug.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
So-
good. It's needs to be. When someone's like, "Oh, I'm not a hugger," I'm like,
Yeah, you need to.
"Nah."
So how do we fix this then? How are you fixing it? How's Hitch fixing
So how I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
So
Say yes. Do that.
I don't care. But I'm not afraid, and this is where a lot of my friends, they'll be like, I love that you can do that, because I'll say anything, like to anybody, if I feel like it's gonna improve their life or even just their night. Like even so, this one guy great looking guy came into my shisha bar, young. And then he's just like tall, like good, whatever. But then he came in like this shirt. It was like a long sleeve white shirt, but it wasn't even just like a collar, it was just a button up. So, and he was tall, so it didn't come like the sleeves were short.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, that needs to be fixed. And so he came in, and then I'm like, hey,
Were you texting Dan in the meantime?
yeah,
Got a customer coming your way.
yeah. But I was just like, hey, you know how that would how you would look like a million times better right now. And then I'm like, can I just do it? And then he let me do it. But that's also like I was just saying, like in my events, since I have candy all the time, and I'll have like licorice. And somebody will be talking too much, I'll just be like, but it's amazing how many people will eat candy out of my hand. Like I did the Pride event too, and one of those pull apart. I came so unprepared. It was for my girlfriend's, like from her pinup girl thing, but it was good. It went well. But I was unprepared, and someone gave me like a little treat, like trick or treat pull apart thing.
Yo,
And so I was like, I could have eaten it all to myself and just like hidden it. But I took all the pieces off and I'm just like, here. And then people are like, oh,
Okay.
thanks. Like,
Yeah, that works.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they do
And
it.
you get a Smartie. And you-
But I'll do it. So people
One for
because
me.
I'm so like, maybe I throw them off because I'm so just do the things that they just accept it. There was a thing I saw today and it was about, and I had a conversation with my girlfriend before this about my current little sticky thing. And she's like, just be real. Just be real. And I'm like, and then that's what people like about me, right? That I'm just like authentic. I don't give a shit. If you don't like me, if you don't like the thing. I was talking to this like politician at the party on Tuesday. And I'm like, so like married, kids, you know what? He's like, oh, those are personal questions. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just curious. That's all. Like I don't get upset. I don't.
That's not personal.
Yeah.
That's basic.
Well, yeah,
stuff.
exactly. You would
Basic.
one would
That was
think.
something else.
What's your
that-
favorite
Maybe
color?
thought I was like,
that went
no.
It's I don't.
You crossed a line.
That was
So-
too much.
So with all and you said something there that put another thought into my mind, which is with all of the stuff going on, like and I'm talking about those touchy subjects like inclusion and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Are we putting too much in between? Are we making it too much of a thing that it's driving separation?
Oh, always, I think. Even just like, even the whole, I'm not even going to get started on COVID, but there's just like, it creates like such a divide when you put so for me, like living life, I'm like, I don't have huge, like either side of the spectrum, ideals and views and anything like that. Everything's just like, everybody, I think just needs to just chill the fuck out. Just chill out and just like allow, like when someone's like saying something, just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like even some of my coaching clients, I'm just like, or even friends,
point.
I'm just like, hey, I'm not gonna fight because I'm not gonna do that with you. If I'm gonna say so, hey, maybe drink one glass of wine instead of two at a time, right? If you're gonna fight me on that, that's your thing. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
what I'm just giving you is just like these are things to help balance. People don't know balance. There's just so many. So I'm just telling people. I'm doing it. I'm being real. These are the things that will, like, sometimes it's teeth, or you go to the gym. You go to the gym all the time, but you're not fixing your teeth. Why? Fix your teeth. Your breath doesn't smell great.
Yeah.
Like things like that. Like, but it's those things that people just need to know. And I have the balls to say it a lot of the time.
Well, and there was what did we watch? There was a film that Joe and I watched, and it was a comedy film, and I'm forgetting his name now, but he was Hangman in the Top Gun film.
No, I don't know.
Glenn Powell. Anyway, it's like a rom-com type
Right.
film. And obviously he's there, he's jacked, he's a fit guy, he's well put together, all this kind of stuff. And the woman immediately chirps him and went, "Oh no, you're not real fit, you're chick fit."
But yeah.
And I was like, that's funny, but it's also there's a huge chunk of reality to it, because it's kind of like, oh well, because again we've got folks that are going to the gym.
Yeah. But that's, again, it's extreme.
Yes.
So anytime that anything is super extreme, then it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Right? That's people.
I agree.
Even. That's practices. For me, I'm just like, I don't care. A lot, like one of my friends, they were like, he's like, Drake or someone else, and they were so like intense. And my girlfriend Miriam were like, I don't know, who the fuck cares? Who gives a shit? I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But that, everybody's like get worked up about these things, and like, just relax.
Chill.
When people are relaxed is better. It's more fun.
So, buddy, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking. The first thing that came to mind is, relax, but at the same time, don't. There's also boundaries. Good to have boundaries to protect yourself, for sure.
Totally.
So,
Yeah, of course.
Something else I've got a problem with, because I can't. I can't remember. Like, what does that even mean?
Boundaries.
Like, we need boundaries, but what does it mean?
I'll give you a personal example.
Yeah.
Go
I
on then.
guess. I have people in my family who are on the LGBTQ, and as a sign of solidarity, in June when Pride Month happened, I put a little like frame on Facebook. You can your little Facebook profile or something like that. And somebody went, "Oh, what's that all about?" And I'm like, "Okay." So that became a
thing.
a boundary against with that person. Like I, without explaining anything to that person.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
there's my boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
totally.
thanks for because I get confused.
Yeah.
It's a genuine confusion. It's like, oh well, boundaries. I'm like, well, what do you? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
it doesn't mean everything. Like I only drink distilled water. That's my boundary. Like, well, I drink tap
The
water with
boundary.
fluoride. Damn it! But no.
No,
So,
but it's even
yeah.
friends. It's even friends who want to, who don't fill your cup. When I've
Yeah.
had to just like drop a lot of
Yeah.
people because I'm just like, oh, that doesn't feel good. When I hang out with you,
They either charge your battery
you
or drain
drink too
them.
much. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's some, but like for me, I'm like, I guess I'm like an introverted,
Mm.
extroverted introvert. I think that's what they call me.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I'll go out and I'm like on, but at the beginning my cup is full.
Yeah.
And then the more people, the more social things, and my cup is emptying, and then I have to just be by myself. Yeah, I
getcha,
gotta be by
yeah.
the water and like
Yeah.
cry with my dog.
And for me, it just
I love him so
mine
much.
changes on the day, the situation. Like obviously, being on stage is a battery. But
Yes.
It's not a drainer for me. I wouldn't
It's a
try to be
battery.
on stage. All
So
the
you
time.
would like
My bike's a
get me
charging
amped up, but like I would be
But-
exhausted.
But on the flip side, some shows become a drain, and you don't know what's happening until you're on the stage, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And you just feel,
Yeah.
yes, batteries go, and you don't
People
know
do
what's
that
causing
to
that.
me.
It's not like and last time I had this happen, I'm not going to say when it happened specifically, but I felt the batteries draining, and that battery drain lasted for a couple of days. Something about that show.
You
Just,
just, you need to make a break.
yeah,
Yeah.
Not a break. Take a break.
Take a break for sure. Yeah, boundaries. Balance is another thing too that people don't know what is and how to live it.
Right. So a boundary is to put a separation to potentially to stop you from doing something to enable a better version of self, potentially,
Boundaries.
personally.
maybe.
Oh yeah. And then there's balance, which is like just not being extreme with some, not drinking too much, not
playing guitar
partying
every
too
single night of the
much.
week.
Yeah.
Well,
Ah.
I mean, look at. So I'm coming up on 30-year recruitment professional.
You?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, so I've been in the like commercial recruitment, so all of that kind of stuff, hiring people.
Right.
And that has been done to death, hasn't it? It's like, because you don't ask candidates, similar to what you're doing with Hitch, but you
Yeah.
say, okay, so what are you looking for in your next opportunity as aligns to, skills, goals and interests? What's going to make you happy from a career progression standpoint?
Right.
And for the longest time, that it's balance has been that, well, I just want to achieve balance. I'm like, but what does balance, how do you achieve, because I actually don't.
Oh, it's like that phrase that's just been overused: work-life balance.
There you go.
Right.
Work-life
Oh my
work-life
God.
But that's
balance.
like
But
going.
you kind of.
What does that even mean to you? I don't know, we've just
you
been
can't
using that
achieve. You can't achieve senior levels. Work in a balanced way. You achieve senior levels, and this is a Simon opinion, right? This is a Simon
yeah.
observation. It is personal. It is a professional observation as well, but you don't necessarily achieve. You achieve good balance by working a long time with an imbalance. And what I mean by that is you don't get to senior levels working a perfect 8-hour day,
Right.
and all of that
Yeah,
kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
all the people
You-
I've ever seen climb the ladder are the ones who are like,
Work
I put an
15,
extra
16,
4 hours,
15, 16 hour
an
days.
extra
Yeah.
4 hours not paid.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
And then some more.
yeah.
Yeah. And then like also thinking about it.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So yeah, it's always been that's always like intriguing. As soon as somebody says balance, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Work-life
well,
balance. Okay, not willing to do overtime.
But it's just like it's like spending time with your family. Like for me, it's like I go out when I don't have my kids. I go out, I do whatever I want. I'm like on vacation. and I fill my cup with like, oh no, that's a hard one. That's interesting. I never looked at that because I'm like actually like emptying my cup, but also like having like, doing my adult time and enjoying that kind of stuff. But then but then half the time I'm with my kids, and like that time it's like going to
Sometimes
hockey
filling your
practice
cup is draining your cup. I don't
Yeah.
disagree.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's why I don't like to have a
true.
good binary. Like you're either introvert or extrovert. Feels way too binary, one or the other.
All,
Whereas,
Yeah.
all the old
Yeah.
traditional sayings like burning the candle at both ends, all of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It's all of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
there's a
totally.
reality
Yeah.
to those sayings.
Yeah.
But my reality on the balance thing was, I can't remember if it was Sam. It was Sam. So there's 9 years between him and his sister.
Okay. This is your son?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were talking, and Daisy said, "Oh, it's great having Dad around." So because when coming to Canada, I managed to achieve. I've got myself down to an acceptable 10 to 11 hour day.
Right.
So that's when you leave in the morning, commute, do your job, come home. For the most part, whereas for the majority of all of Sam's life, I was a good 12 to 14 hours a day, days at a time, and all of this kind of stuff. And Sam said to Daisy, "He's like, it's all right for you. Like, I didn't see him." And Daisy was like, "What do you mean you didn't see him?" And that was when it hit me, because he was basically saying to her, "Well, look, Dad used to leave before I got up for school in the morning."
Oh, crazy.
And for like 2-3 days of the week, it was a phone call with Dad.
Oh.
Like, where are you? And that again, the tipping point professionally for me was when I was walking into hotels and they'd be like, "Oh, we've got your room ready." Or you go down to the restaurant and they'd be like, "Oh, your usual."
Yeah.
Too much now.
yeah.
Yeah, for real though. But that's like, it's that, it's balance.
It's funny because I have the same thing, not work related, just music wise. So I'll just one place I go every Sunday for an open mic. It's my Sunday church. It's not church, but I would call it my Sunday church, right? The second I sit down, boom, there's a Bud Light in front of me. Wow, that well known.
In some instances, it's very welcoming. In a professional sense,
Yeah,
in a professional journey to balance. That's my observations when I sit down. So I guess it's a bit of a trigger word, isn't it?
Right,
As soon as I hear balance, I'm like, do you actually understand what balance is? Like, if you...
But I'm like I'm from a lifestyle, like lifestyle as a whole. That's like family, friends, friend time, romantic time, work, going to the gym, getting out and getting air on your face. Like those.
It's a constant.
Oh yeah.
Like, balance is a constant. I don't think
Like
it's something
if I've
that
been
you
social,
achieve.
I need quiet. Like that's balance to me.
yeah.
Yes, but I don't. But what I'm saying in terms of balance being a constant, it's not something that you achieve.
Oh right,
Do you know
no,
what I
you're
mean?
just,
'Cause
yeah,
I-
just
I
maintaining
think-
it. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what
Yeah,
you
I
said,
think because I think there's a lot of folks out there that kind of go, "I'm going to
I
do that."
strive for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then folks probably get a little bit affected by the fact that, without realizing that balance is a constant, happiness is a constant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
happiness isn't always walking around giggling your ass off all the time, right?
Yes.
Happiness is a
It's like
here.
state of mind. Yeah.
Yes, state of mind. It's a feeling. It's
Feeling,
going out. It's walking outside and feeling the stillness of 5 o'clock in the morning. That kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. But there's a lot of people that don't practice it. I dated a guy and he was like, "Oh, I can't stop and smell the roses," and I'm like,
What?
"Why?
Have you tried?
Why?
Yeah.
Like things like that." I'm like, "But you're like 44. What happens?" Like, because he's trying to put his head down, and I'm just like, and that was a big eye opener for me because this guy was actually used to like a chaotic, toxic relationship. Then he would tell me about it, and then I'm just like, I just want to be like, I'm like a hippie. Like I'm like, I just like I want to be free. I want to like I want to go on adventures. I want to like have fun and like like just hang out, right? Like I'm like the cheapest date. People will be like, hey, do you want like whatever? I'm like, no, I just want like I would love like a little like glass of like mango juice. Just like that would
Brought it back
be
to mango
my
juice.
She's back to
world
mango juice.
right now.
I will get you a mango juice.
Oh, damn. Well,
But
mango
it's
donuts.
those things.
What's with the word mango and this
I have no idea.
podcast? Like,
They-
seriously.
Do we
It's a
say
thing.
mango?
Oh, it's a hashtag in every single
It is, yeah.
post because something
Yeah.
about mango donuts. How did that go?
Because
again?
they had mangoes when they opened the cafe down the cafe bar. They had the most delicious flipping mango donuts,
Yeah.
Oh.
and they've not
Yeah.
had them since.
Oh,
Platform.
interesting.
Right? Thanks, platform. But you know what? It's a hashtag on absolutely every time
Right.
I
Oh,
post
that's
an episode.
funny. Like
It's
bring
our thing.
back the
It's
mango
like
donut.
yeah,
the
it's
mango
our
donuts.
little secret
Yeah.
hashtag word. that we
Mango
just-
donuts.
Mango
Well, now I
donuts.
know. Interesting. I'll look
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. It's not funny. It goes back. Mango. What is it with mangoes and us? Man? What is it?
Yeah, mango juice is my like
Yeah.
if I can just have that. But yeah, so whatever I was saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Wonderful.
We've got more
Yeah,
things.
where were we?
I was going to say, yeah, I was.
Whatever.
There was a question
Squirrel.
I was gonna. So it's a constant, basically. I think relationships is a constant. So solutions. One of your questions here: solutions for better relationships. What can people do to shift from superficial to meaningful relationships?
So a lot
Should we
of
have
the
this at the
things-
final point.
Sure.
Final point.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Where-
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay.
For a lot of the things that I'm doing and preaching, it's the stuff that I'm practicing. So I don't know if these are the right answers. I talk to people all the time, and there's like points that I get. But I think that the biggest thing is like being intentional. And I think that a lot of people, when they're dating and when they're just getting to know people, they will put a lot of things just like aside, like they'll brush a lot of things aside because they like the thing and they want a relationship and they want to be with someone. For me, I know that I can get a relationship tomorrow, right?
Yep.
But it's do I want all the things? 100% this time. Right. And there's room for whatever, like I said, not kids, non-kids, whatever. But I have an idea of what I want ultimately, and it's not dating and it's not sleeping with people just to kind of pass the time. It's not just like having, like, someone asked me the other day, and they're like, well, what if you're like like the person that you're with is like just comfortable, you guys are like, you're satisfied physically, and you're like living your life and it's like peaceful and you're doing your things and they're kind of cheering you on, and I'm like. But wouldn't that be like your person? Like, wouldn't you want that to be your person rather than just like a space filler? You're not really like, all the things don't really like fill your cup. So I think that in being intentional is like a big thing. And I think just the communication part. For me, it's like there's so much room for error. And I'm noticing that too. So my biggest thing in this moment currently is this guy's not the greatest texter, right? Which is a lot of the time the case, right? And so what I do is like if I'm not clear on something, or if I'm like wondering something, or if I've thrown out some like vulnerable things and like just being like, hey, I like you, and then it's like they're like, oh, you're an overthinker, or something that I'm like, but it's just like, or kind of like me, and then. So even that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
My alarm bells went off. Like, ooh.
I know, and I'm trying because I'm seeing the potential.
I
But I'm
love
like-
you. there.
Yeah. No,
Slugger.
no, I
No,
think.
I love me too.
Right? Yeah.
But I need what I need, right?
Yes.
What was I going with
No,
that?
sorry, I didn't mean to throw you.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's I think I know.
Oh yeah, communicate.
Communication.
Yeah. So what I do is like I will, if I don't have the answers, I'll fill in the answers.
Yes.
Which is like, when it's just like all it is just, and it brings back to my girlfriend and I, like our conversation this morning about being real. So just be real and then being authentic. Oh, and then to that Instagram post, it was authenticity is like 4,000 times more powerful than the feeling of love. And I was like, oh, that was interesting. Yeah, it was like, oh, and we just had this conversation about being real. Because I guess you have to, and I'm not good with this kind of stuff. So, but to get through like the love chakra or something like that, or to get through the authenticity chakra or something,
Yep.
you have to get through the love, right? So it's actually like heart love is. So I don't like I said, I don't know anything, but this, like, you know, this little message, it was actually pretty powerful. But it's being like a good communicator, and I think that even just that, it gets it off of me and in my head, and I'll experience like anxiety and like the stomach dropping and the fear and the thing, like all the things. But if I just have a conversation, because like what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
It's done, or they don't feel the same thing, or if like because I'm being, these are the things that I'm giving, they don't like that, that's not my guy, right?
No. And it's better to be as communicative as possible at first to find these things out before you find yourself in a relationship.
Oh
If it
yeah,
goes
and
for
I don't
way
waste
too long,
yeah.
and then you can't end it because
Yeah.
But I know when I like something, and it can be very, very quick. And I know that that can be overwhelming. But I feel like for my person, it wouldn't be. If it was like really like aligned, and if that was my person, as much as I'm such a lover and I'm so optimistic and hopeful, and you know, they're not going to get scared of that. Not my guy.
No.
They'll embrace it, right?
100%.
I'm trying to I'm trying to live that and believe that, and I have for a very long time. But
And you should never
when you're in it,
compromise.
it's
Like
tough.
you shouldn't. I shouldn't say never compromise. That's sometimes life is full of compromises. But the
Yeah.
things that are really important to
Oh,
you,
yeah. Oh,
you should
totally.
not
No.
give up on them just for
No.
the illusion of of stability in a relationship.
Yeah,
I guess.
there's not when I
So,
feel something, because
yeah.
I'm such a feeler. So if I feel it and it's great, then it's great. But if it's not good,
Yeah.
it is not good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much.
No.
This is the thing. It's just like a little bit of communication.
Constant effort, constant
Yeah.
communication.
But just even noticing and like, oh, she's in distress. What's wrong? Or you say something, you know, like, and it's just so simple, a lot
Yes.
of things. But I know men and women are so different, right? And I get that. But for the basic life stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silent hugs. Silent hugs goes a long way. If you can, but you've got to be able to read a little bit of human behavior to do that. Like, if
Yeah.
someone's if someone's upset.
Yeah.
Read
Like,
the
you can-
room.
Right? But
Yes.
a lot of people don't.
I use this in so many things,
But
not just
and that's
Yeah.
my point that I'm getting to
Relationships.
is that we've got so much technology now, where you've kind of got that. We're just losing the ability
Yeah.
to communicate.
Yeah.
We just are.
Well, and because
Which is the
our
root to
like this
all of our
millennial
issues, probably.
age, or whatever, this generation, it's actually it's like the last generation where it's like that organic, you know, like before cell phones, but then also with cell phones, like it's like the two tail ends. I'm like, oh, so we still have that natural thing to be able to communicate, talk
Yep.
face to face, and
Yep.
but it's losing it. Like it's losing
gosh.
it. But that's why even with my kids, I'm like, come to this event, come to my events. My daughter's helping me with these events, and my son's if it's not 18 plus, and
Yep.
he'll also be there. And I'm just like, get in front of people, talk to the 50-year-old man, pianist, you know, like just like there's so many things, and I'm trying to keep that organic because it's so needed.
Yeah.
And that, so bring it back to my
It's
event.
a practiced
Yeah.
skill as well. It's not something a lot of people will shy away because they
Totally.
think, well, I don't naturally have that. Well,
You get
social
better.
social
Yeah.
social
I mean,
programming.
you don't become a master podcaster like us without some practice.
Totally, but even
Right.
from the first one, that was my first one ever.
Yeah.
I was so nervous, and now I'm just like, even getting on I'm like, I just got to get it done.
Yeah.
Like like these little
Yeah.
things, but I'm like, there's zero anxiety. I'm like more relaxed. Of course, like when a camera's put in front of you, just kind of like,
Oh yeah, there's regular you, and then there's you with a mic and a camera. in
yeah,
front.
totally.
Yeah.
But
I know.
it takes
I know. I'm doing that
practice,
too.
like
It
you
does.
said. It's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
all of those things. They just, and then that's why so people are like, oh, I don't know if I should come again. And I'm like, no, just come. You just come, even if there's like no one your age. Like
Yeah.
this guy came late, and then I was like, this is just me tooting my own horn. But he came in, and I was like, okay, fuck. Like he came late from Red Deer, and so I was like, okay, so everybody's kind of like relaxed now. Everybody's a little like, you know, like they've already done their thing. But then he came in, and I like kind of looked. I did a quick assessment because that was the first time I met him. But and he looked great, stand-up guy, country boy, whatever, good teeth, good hair, good, clean. And so then I was like, okay, so I'm like, hey, okay, whatever. And so we kind of like, I scanned the room, and I'm like, okay, this girl would be good to talk to, this one. So I'm like, like I'm starting to be more precise and concise, and just kind of being like, get down to it because I'm used to it now. So
Yes.
it's practice.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Always.
You just
Putting the social
I
cues
just
back in.
I just thought of why your events slightly scare me when it
Why?
comes to the idea of going to them. And it's okay. So here's the thing. I'm
Are we being vulnerable here?
yeah, 100%.
Beautiful.
Well, it's actually
Yeah,
it's not
let's do it.
vulnerable.
Dive in.
It's I guess a little bit. It's maybe due to hearing loss from previous musical things, shall we say. I think one of the reasons why I steer away from trying to meet somebody I don't know in big social settings is because it can be loud.
freaking
And
hear
it's
people.
tough to hear, and it's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's embarrassing. Like, sorry, can you say that again?
Oh, I
And
see.
and whereas and I think with the apps, for me, I can be myself, and I'm not saying I don't have to go text. What did you say? Say it again,
Right.
And so it becomes a little bit. And I did attend one of your events without you. Sorry, Simon. I thought you'd wave me
Which
down.
one was that one?
It was actually
What up?
somebody's birthday in Douglas.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
So but same thing when the music started going. I'm like, I can't talk to anyone. Like because I can't hear what they're saying, and then that's where my insecurity hits. Where I'm like, it's not insecurity on meeting new people.
Right.
'Cause I have no issue talking
Yeah.
to people, but
Yeah.
when I can't hear them, and it's part of why I've always disliked going to dance bars. Generally speaking, like I'm never going to pick someone up at a dance bar because generally
yes.
I can't hear what they're saying anyway.
Well, I remember
just
my
like-
clubbing days, and if you
Yeah.
were, there was a reason why you went to the clubs, and it
Yeah.
wasn't to talk.
Oh yeah, but that's like for me because I'm 41.
Get on the dance floor and just groove out.
I don't want to hear like I can't. So some of the places that I frequent, it gets too loud, and I'm like I'm done. It's
Yeah.
too much. It's like
Yeah.
I have like misophonia or something like that.
Oh.
Also, it bugs me.
Yeah.
But so at my events, it's always like even at the last one, I was like it's too loud.
Yeah.
So I got them to. And like it goes back to me just saying my thing.
Yeah.
Like is there any way? It's like I'm so offside, like kind of offside. Like who the fuck am I?
Yeah,
But I'm
'cause-
like is there any way?
Because wow, it's all starting to come. It's all starting to come. Like I wasn't identifying this as my issue. Like I've met somebody. I had met somebody at a bar in town, and within an hour to two, I'm just like I can't anymore, and so I'm gonna leave. You're leaving already?
Yeah.
And it's it's really I can't take any more of this. It's so draining trying to have a conversation with somebody when I can't hear them, and it's just like and it completely drains my batteries. And at some point, about 2 hours in, I'm like, see you later. Like, gotta
Right.
go. Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Good to know.
So, yeah. Now I know what it is.
interesting.
Oh my goodness. I've just discovered something about myself in this podcast.
Yeah. But that's good though, like it's because it's everybody's so different. There's a lot of people that are just like have their thing, and I will remember a lot of these things, right? And so then I kind of like try to cater to. I mean, a lot of things have been a little more lively. Like I had Yuck Yucks thing with Christabella,
Yeah.
and then the next week it was like the shisha bar. But there's always things that I'm like if people want different things, right?
Yeah.
I was doing
Yeah,
like
they
a
do.
mountain, like hiking something. I was
Right.
gonna do something like that.
Oh, that's good. I
Just
haven't done enough hiking this year. I did Sulphur Mountain last year. I enjoyed that one.
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
I need that for my
Yeah.
my soul.
I've only done it once this year.
I need the mountains in a
Yeah.
bike.
Yeah.
I got trailers, so I can do a mountain.
You've
mountain
definitely got a trailer.
So brand new.
So-
trailer. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice.
Give people time.
Yeah, time.
Give people time. Just talk. Get rid of the agendas.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Just like zero, and I tell them to
Yeah.
come like zero expectations. You're not looking for love. You're not. Yes, you're open to love, but just be open to anything.
Seek
meet
balance.
some
Have some
friends.
boundaries, but not too many big boundaries. Seek boundaries, right? Not too many big boundaries. Yeah. The distilled
You're good at
water
this stuff.
versus tap
I'm still
water.
a bit of a Neanderthal with putting all of this together.
Yeah. That's right.
I just don't. What do you mean boundaries?
We're all learning, Simon.
Yeah, we are.
Day by day.
And stay learning. I think that's the thing. I
Yeah,
think
always
that's-
learning, always growing.
Self-awareness,
Always being like
self-reflection.
open-minded. For me, if somebody's going to give me feedback, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of people that have
Yeah.
the balls to do it too.
No.
No.
And I just want to know, even if it's bad, because if there's room for something that I can look at, 100% I'll look at that. Because it'll improve my life, it'll improve my results. Like,
Self-improvement.
oh my God. But not a lot of people do it. And when they do, I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. And I love when people just like call me out on shit. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
Don't be locked in your ways, people. Come on. Like,
Touche.
well
all
done.
right.
Right?
No.
Exactly.
Well, I think we're at the end here. Is that what I'm getting?
I think we're. It feels like we could keep going, but
Do you know what we forgot to do?
What did we do?
We forgot to tell people. See, we're out of practice. We have to tell people to subscribe, click the thumbs up.
yeah.
Yes, thumbs
Yeah.
up.
Visit us on Facebook, Instagram. What else? Threads.
iHeartRadio.
Oh, iHeartRadio, right.
Spotify.
Right.
Spotify.
Oh, my goodness. Apple Podcasts,
Yes.
Spotify, iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Apparently Amazon Podcasts. I don't know.
We're
Oh.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you guys.
Right.
Hitch YYC, because we're on there
Hitch,
as well.
That's right.
She's,
Yeah, you put us
Oh,
on
yeah,
your
that's
website.
right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
So
we're on the Hitch.
I think you're a sponsor now just for that. We'll name drop you every time. Every single time we're on it.
I'll put this one on also.
Right?
And on
Awesome.
my Instagram.
We have a new sponsor.
It's YYC.
Right? Fantastic. Yes, so don't forget to follow us and do all those social things.
Social things, yes.
Can I mention one more thing?
Yes, you can.
So I've got a few things going on for Movember, and there's nothing
Events.
like and like little, and I'm thinking like a series of events before like a big event.
Okay.
And I'm also thinking like a very mysterious Halloween event,
Oh, dear.
which will be very limited, and my creative juices have been flowing around it. So super cool spot. And then so just a few things, and just kind of honoring men for Movember, and just like series of things, maybe some styling,
Cool.
haircut, beard, all that kind of stuff, and then like another.
Definitely not growing the mustache. I'm so happy that
Danny
they
J.
expanded.
It looks good. Yeah, I don't like
is
the
it?
mustache.
Yeah, right?
Well,
Yeah.
the
why I'm like,
November thing's gone, is it?
No, they still do it, but it's not just the mustache anymore. There's other ways. It's overall just for men's
okay,
health,
okay.
mental health.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So we want to celebrate. I want to like I'm like a lot of everything that I've built Hitch on is elevating men in the dating world. So it's kind of evolved from just being in the dating world. It's just elevating men and having men recognize what they need to do and what they need for themselves and for their for all
Fantastic.
those things. So we're just gonna try to honor that. I just need to plan.
Excellent.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'll make sure also in the
Okay.
if you're watching YouTube, we'll in the description we'll have links to your website as well, so that
Yes.
yeah, so people can
sounds
find
cool.
that. Right. Oh my goodness, that was fun.
Yes, it
How
was.
about and
Thank
yeah, we talked about all of our sponsors. Did we get them all out at beginning? But let's just again Spandex Panda.
Thank you, TEEMA.
Right?
Thank you,
TEEMA,
Spandex Panda.
Right.
Thank you, Pink Weasel.
Which I just downed a pot of this morning.
It's available.
Yes Men Blend. It's a thing. It's a
go
thing.
to the Pink Weasel. You can actually. So there's a thing where you can go there and you can talk to the guys at Pink Weasel, and he will come up with a Hitch YYC blend,
Oh, okay.
which
there
I
we
know
go.
you don't.
I don't drink coffee, but I love coffee. I
Not
just can't
about
drink
you.
it.
It's about you.
Right. I knew there was something. With
I don't
coffee.
drink
We
coffee
talked about
now.
this, didn't we?
Yes, okay, I'll do that. I'll look into that.
Right? Hello, I drink mango.
I
Right.
like mango juice and water.
Wonderful.
So, but yes.
Excellent. Well, thanks everyone for joining
Yes,
us.
thank you. Thank you for having
Yes.
me again.
Thanks for coming.
It was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. And take care of each other.
Yes.
Yourselves.
Love each other.
Yes.
Yeah, love yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Balance
Cue the music.
Music.
with that.
What do we do?
Balance. The trigger.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Later, everybody.
Cool.
Yeah.